Hi everybody, New Skin, Keith Abraham here. Thanks very much for taking the time to watch this. You know, over the last couple of years I've spoken at your leadership event on the Gold Coast, and Tracy asked me to put together a quick little video just to share some ideas, some insights, and more importantly, a little bit of inspiration. A little bit of time, about 20 minutes in this video, and work you through these three areas. So here's what you need to do. Get a pen, get some paper, get ready to take some notes, and make sure you complete the activities as part of this process. So let's talk a little bit about reset. Here's what I can share with you. If you've seen me present before, I talk about understanding your why, getting clear on what's important, what matters, and what makes a difference to you. You see, my belief is this: when the why becomes clear, the how becomes easy. And all too often, we just don't have a big enough reason why to build your business. Because if you don't have a big enough reason why, you'll find an excuse on why it can't be done. So you need to understand what your purpose is. Now, you don't need a lifetime purpose. You need to have a purpose for the next 30 days. You see, from this clarity of purpose for the next 30 days, what you can start to then do is create a plan. Because once you get a plan, you can make progress. I don't know about you personally, because if you don't feel like you're making progress in your life, you get frustrated. Oh, that's what happens to me. Because once you get progress happening, it then feeds your passion. Now, I've written 5 best-selling books published in 12 different languages, 4 of them around passion, goals, and focus. And what I can share with you about passion, if you said to me, Keith, you could never ever use the word passion ever again, too easy. I'd just change every word to energy. You want to hang around people that have got good energy. How do you know when you hang around a negative person? Simple, you feel a lot better after you left them. And so this is about making sure that you have great energy. Why? Because in the environment we're in at the moment, people are burning a lot of emotional energy thinking about all the what ifs. And what you need to be thinking about is what you can control. Now, once you've got great energy, it feeds your purpose. It moves you towards what's important, what matters, what makes a difference to you. For the last 17 years, I have been researching high performers, what makes them tick, and talking about the whole goal achievement process. Everybody can tell you how to set goals, but it's not about how many goals you set, it's about how many goals you achieve. And so if you really want to be able to set and achieve your goals, then you need to understand what drives you. So the research that I've done, what we've uncovered is there are 135 different emotions you can experience. Of those 135 different emotions you can experience, they come down to 64 positive emotions. Of those 64, they come down to 8 goal drivers. And what I mean by a goal driver, see, unless you have an emotional, mental, and physical connection to your goal, you'll never truly be compelled, connected, or committed to it. And when you have an emotional, mental, and physical connection to your goal, what does that really look like? Why, what, how, feel, think, do, heart, head, hands. Unless you have those 3 components, you'll never truly move towards your most important goals. See, we want to be moving towards what's important to us and moving away from what's not so important. So it's important that you understand what your goal driver is. That's some language that I've deemed 8 goal drivers to be. So let me share with you these 8 goal drivers. See, here's what our research tells us is people want to feel this way. People want to feel successful. People want to feel purposeful. People want to feel inspired. People want to feel happy. People want to feel organized. People want to feel respected. People want to feel confident, and people want to feel relaxed. So here's the question I'd like you to answer for me. You can write this down. Is what is going to be your goal driver in the next 30 days? So let me go through those 8 again. People want to feel successful. People want to feel purposeful. People want to feel inspired. People want to feel happy. People want to feel organized. People want to feel confident. People want to feel respected. People want to feel relaxed. So identify what your goal driver is. For me, at this point of time, is I want to feel organised. Why organised? Because I've got a whole stack of projects on my wall over here that I know that by me completing these, I'll become exceptionally organised, but it'll set me up for the next 2 to 5 years in my business. Now, once you've understood what your goal driver is, then so write down one of those there, successful, purposeful, you get that. Then what I want you to do is, what's the number one goal you want to achieve in the next 30 days in your business? What's the number one goal you want to achieve? Maybe it's a sponsoring goal. Maybe it's moving people to the next level. Maybe it's reconnecting with customers. So what's the number one goal? I'm starting to lose the tack here. So what's that number one goal? It's so keen to get out there and achieve it. So what's that number one goal you want to achieve? Here's the third piece of the puzzle, is you've got to start to identify when you want to achieve it by. So pick a date 30 days from the day that you're watching this video. And then once you've done that, then I want you to write down what are the 5 reasons why this goal is so important to you. See, unless you've got 5 reasons why, any excuse will do. Too hot, too cold, too many, too few, too little, too much, too hard, too easy. And so you need to think about what are the 5 reasons why this goal is so important to you. The next is, do you think you might have to change? Do you think you might have to do some things differently? So this is about making sure that you've identified what you need to start doing and what you need to stop doing. So for you to achieve this goal in this time frame and achieve these reasons why, what are 2 things you need to stop doing and 2 things you need to start doing? What are 2 things you need to stop doing, 2 things you need to start doing? And then once you've identified that, what are the 4 key milestones? The 4 key milestones represent the 4 weeks of the month. And so once you put this into application, then you've got a master plan to move yourself towards what you want and move away from what you don't want. The next piece of the puzzle is that you then need to start to think about how the mindset you need to review to move yourself forward. So what's that mindset you need to work through? So if we look at the key mindsets, there are 6 of those mindsets. Now, here's what I can say to you is that it's really important that you identify what that mindset is for you to achieve. Let me just move this, pop this off here for a moment. And so what are those 6 mindsets? I want you to think of it like this, is that if you turned up every day and had the right mindset, what could you achieve? Now, often people say, oh, I just need to be positive, Keith. No. You have to pick a mindset. You have to pick a lane. So what's that mindset you need to pick? I believe there's 6. What would happen if you turned up and you were courageous? If you were courageous, what would happen? How would you walk? How would you talk? How would you think? What would you say to yourself? What would you say to others if you were courageous? If you were tenacious, how would you turn up? How would you walk? How would you talk? How would you think? What would you say to yourself? What would you say to others if you were tenacious right now with every cell in your body that you were tenacious? What would happen if you had a mindset that you were limitless? You had limitless energy. You had limitless opportunities. You had limitless prospects. What stops most people from building a new skin business is because their prospect list isn't long enough. That's why people stop going and sponsoring people. That's why people stop approaching people. Limitless. What would happen if you turned up and you had great self-love for yourself? So rather than being your harshest critic, you were your best friend. How would you walk? How would you talk? How would you think? What would you say to yourself? What would you say to others? If you had great self-love, self-belief, self-confidence in yourself, if you were your best coach, your greatest cheerleader rather than the harshest critic, what would happen if you were empowered? If you were no longer looking for someone to give you permission, if you were no longer looking for your brother-in-law or your best friend to say it's okay to build a new skin business, how would you walk? How would you talk? How would you turn up? What would you do differently? What would you say to yourself? What would you say to others? And what would happen if you were grateful? So I think we just have to be grateful. I believe the world's going through a gratitude reset at the moment. Things that people didn't truly appreciate, they're starting to appreciate more. The ability to travel, the ability to go across suburbs or to go interstate. But you have to be grateful for what you're going through right now. Why? Because if you're not grateful, you won't learn the lesson. And so this is about making sure that you are grateful. So here's what I'd like you to do. I want you to pick one of them for the next month. You have to pick a lane for the next month. What's that going to be? The third piece, so we talked about reset, we talked about review. Now we're going to talk about refocus. And when we start talking about refocus, I want you to think about what are the 3 priorities every day? What are the 3 priorities every day that you need to be working on your business? Now, there could be 23 things to do, but what are the 3 absolute must-do priority A's that you need to work on? And make sure you write that list out before you go to sleep, so that when you get up the next day, you can just start. You don't have to think about it. You know where to start. Here's the next one. Who? Who are the people that you need to contact, that you need to connect with? Who is it that you need to reach out to and check with them? Are there past customers that used to do business with you that stopped doing business with you for whatever reason? Do you need to reconnect with those people? Are there people that used to be part of your business and dropped out? Are there people that built a business and then stopped building? Do you need to reach out to those people? Because their plan A just went pear-shaped. And so they may very well be ready now to build the business. So who do you need to connect with? Are there customers you need to convert now? Are there people that, who said no to you that might just be interested? Well, how would I approach them? Because you just ring them up and you say, listen, I was just thinking about you a few days ago. I thought I'd just reconnect. How are you and your family? Just reconnect. Start a conversation. Don't jump straight in trying to flog them this opportunity. Start a conversation. Check in with them. See how they're going. Here's the next one. What projects do you need to work on, personally, professionally? I know for me, I've got 6 projects that I need to work on in my business at the moment that will fix, enhance, develop, create, improve my business so that sets me up for the next 2 to 5 years. What projects do you need to work on? And the next one there is personal habits. Is that you've got to have the right rituals in place. You see, people create rituals and rituals form futures. So what rituals do you need to put in place so you can move towards what you want? Because the sum total of your success will be the habits that you create and implement consistently in your life, in your business. I know for me personally, when I'm growing my business, when I'm on growth mode, I contact 7 people every day. I contact 7 people every day, 5 days a week, that's 35 people. Guess what? If you contact that many people, I know for me, if I contact that many people, somebody's going to say yes. Somebody's going to ask me to come along and present virtually at a conference. So making sure you've got the right personal habits. What are some of the habits that are just not negotiable in your business? You've got to be able to have momentum. Momentum is the lifeblood of your business. How do you do that? Read. What books are you reading at the moment? If you're not reading personal, professional development books, you're not serious about building a business. So it's important that you're reading books. It's important that you're watching not the news, but watching things that are going to inspire you, that are going to enthuse you, that are going to move you towards becoming the best version of you, not the second best version of somebody else. This is about listening to audio books and podcasts, things that can give you the information that moves this mindset. Do you get this? You have to go there mentally before you go there physically. And so this is about moving this mindset. And then finally, talking to people who are going to lift you up, not tear you down. You want to be hanging around positive people. For me personally, I connect with a group of people every fortnight, a mastermind. I talk to a mentor of mine once a week, and I talk to a business coach of mine once a month. And I'm doing that consistently. I'm really conscious at the moment of who I let into my environment. Why? Because I don't want them influencing my mindset in a negative way. And so these are the things that are really, really important. The other thing that you need to be conscious of as part of this process moving forward is it's all about now how you react and how you respond. Excuse me, how you react is your emotional response. If you're panicked, then what you need to respond to is get a plan. If you feel a little bit anxious, you just need to stop thinking about all the options and pick one. If you're feeling a little bit confused, then find clarity. So this is about how you react and how you respond moving forward. So it's really important for you to do that as part of that process. And the final thing I wanted to spend a little bit of time with you is just to say thanks very much for tuning in. Hopefully some of this information, not hopefully, hope's not a strategy. I know this information will make a difference if you apply it to your business. So here's what I want you to do. Reset your goal. Go through those 6 parts. Review. Pick a mindset that you're going to focus on in the next 30 days. Third, refocus. Refocus on priorities, on people, on projects, and on personal habit. Do that. Final thing I'd like to share with you as we wrap up is that a good friend of mine had a chance to interview Sir Edmund Hillary before he passed away. And he asked him the question, what was it like when you got to base camp? And to my friend's surprise, Sir Edmund Hillary replied this way. He said, when I got to base camp and I looked up at Everest, he said, I thought it was too high, I thought it was too hard, I thought it was too cold. And my friend said to him, what'd you do? And he said, simple, I just put one foot after the other. If you want to build a great new skin business, you just have to take the first step. You just have to take the first step and move towards what's important to you, what matters to you, and what's going to make a difference to you and your family. Thanks for watching. I'm Keith Abraham. I appreciate your time. Bye.